I'm Abby, and I am a mother of three, and I go to San Francisco State University. I'm a double major anthropology and cinema. I have been at San Francisco State since spring of 2020. I went to junior college. A few years into that, I met my soon-to-be ex-husband, and we got pregnant like within 6 weeks of knowing each other. So I decided to drop out of school, just focus on being a mom. I was a homeschool mom for 10 years, and for a long time, I had no identity outside of motherhood. And then when I separated from my husband is when I decided to go back to school. And just last spring of 22, I declared a cinema major. I had started this process of being my own person before we separated, and it was a huge catalyst as to why we separated. The catalyst for me in finding myself was really when I got really into weightlifting, powerlifting, and fitness. Even as like a bigger girl, I was like going for it. And I became a personal trainer and a fitness instructor. I have a cycling certificate and I lead classes and I do all kinds of that stuff. And when I was successful in that world, it made me want more. About 3 years ago, I made a decision to walk through every open door. And I'm at the point in my life, there are too many doors opening. I can't walk through them all anymore. So once I started finding an identity outside of that, I mean, there's a lot of guilt that comes along with that as a parent. But at some point I just said, fuck it. Like, I just have to do what I want to do. I will admit, I am not a full-time mother anymore. We technically have 50-50 custody, but I see the kids so rarely because of my schedule and because of how busy I am. I have a lot of guilt for not being with my kids every day. I am the mother that just kind of breezes in and gives them candy, takes them to the movies, and I leave. And I was never the fun one before. I was always the disciplinarian. I was always the one who like held it all down. And so now my ex really has to manage all of that, and that's been really challenging. A busy day for me is I get up at 5 a.m. or usually 4:30, and I swim. I do lap swim probably 3-4 days a week. And I'm done by 5:30 or 6. I come home, my kids are there. I get them ready for school and make lunch. I take them to school, drop them off. I drive to the city for a class, then I'll go to work. Then I will get off work, drive back home, which is about 2 hours. Then I get home, 10 o'clock, and then I have to do homework. That's a busy day. That is also a typical day. There are no days off for me at this moment in time. After my third son was born, he was born in 2016, I had really bad postpartum depression. Like, I wasn't gonna make it. That's actually how I started getting tattooed, and I started kind of therapeutically tattooing myself and feeling better each time. But what I realized at that point was I had to start doing things that made me feel good. I realized that the relationship that I was in for the last 16 years wasn't what I wanted for my life. I calculate my life decisions for my children, but I don't only take them into account anymore. I used to. And now I take myself into account first. And this is a sacrifice that I'm making right now to finish school so I can get a decent job, which I'm not really sure I'm going to be able to do with a film degree. But you know, we make our bed and we lie in them. I'm not someone to go out just and get a business degree. I like to think and write and do and create. I just will never be that person that just kind of works the 9 to 5 in a cubicle. And part of, actually, it's my tattoos is part of that. I wanted to sort of ensure that I could never work at a bank because I want to just solidify the fact that I'm like don't belong there. It's not like it's the most privileged shit I've ever said in my life, but like I would rather just be a starving artist and make it through life doing what I want to do. I am taking a trip to Italy in 19 days. I'm taking a trip to Italy with San Francisco State University Cinema Program to make a documentary for 3 weeks. And then I'm staying in an additional 3 weeks. I'm looking at my trip to Italy a lot the way I look at hiking. Just step through it, get there, and just try to make it happen. You're out in the wilderness hiking alone. you don't have another choice but to get back to your car. Preparing my children for me being gone that long has been hard. My middle son made baseball all-stars, and that starts like the week I leave. So I won't be able to see. It's the first baseball season now I'll ever miss, but he understands what I'm doing. My youngest son, I think, is gonna really struggle. When I left, originally, he forgot all about me. I mean, there were times where he didn't ask about me at all. He never wanted to come to my house. He never wanted to see me. He just wanted dad. He's just now started coming back around, where he wants to stay the night with me and he wants to be with me and he calls me all the time. I'm very fearful that that's gonna go away when I'm gone for 6 weeks. So I just have to try to really be intentional with keeping up with him. My oldest son does not care that I'm leaving at all. I'm sure he's phased in lots of ways, but it doesn't affect him one way or another. My oldest son and I have never really had a very good relationship. I work really hard now to just stay out of his business, first of all. He's one of those kids that is rebelling against me by being like a young Republican. But he's got a mom like me that he's sort of saying, okay, I see what you're about and I see what dad's about. He definitely respects his dad a lot more than me, considers his dad to be making the ultimate sacrifice, which I'm like, I respect your opinion. There are different ways to live life. I could not do any of the things that I do without the support of my ex-husband. He's a really good father. If he wasn't a good father, I wouldn't trust him with the kids as much as I do. I am sort of essentially an absent mother in a lot of ways, but I trust that he's taking good care of them. I also I would not be in school if it wasn't for him. He single-handedly pays all of my bills. And it's been very important to him that I feel supported in that. He was given some advice that if he supported me through college, then he wouldn't have to support me on the long term. So he's made that conscious decision to say, I'll get you through college, and, get you on your feet. And my ex-husband really understands that I sacrificed all of my money-making years, all of my adult years, providing for the family and not building up this sort of income equity. And so I start at the bottom. What am I going to do when I'm done with school? I've still not ever really had a real job. So would I be doing any of this without the support of my ex-husband? Is absolutely not no. If I did not have him doing what he's doing, I would have to have a full-time job. I would have to be sort of scraping by. I'm still scraping by, but I would be scraping by not pursuing an education. I'm super thankful for that. So what I think my kids have is they have the best of both worlds. They see their dad doing the traditional, trading his hours of life for capital so that he can pay for all the things. And then they have this mom that is very free-spirited, very just kind of fly by the seat of her pants. I make decisions on a whim. I just float through life. I want whatever my children want. What I've told my kids is go get your associate's degree, go to junior college, and then if you want to be a barista for the rest of your life, go do that. Go do what you want to do. You have two choices, in my eyes. You can get a job to fund your passions, or you can get a job that is your passion. Those are your two choices. But to get a job and not have any passions to fund is, to me, not an option. And I'm hoping my kids see me working hard for something I believe in, and that will carry on. That will get them through the fact that I am not with them every day.